Today let's look at some project design tips. Instead of creating large monolithic flex apps, the Composite Application framework allows us to break the task into smaller and more manageable parts during the development process and on both the test/development server and the production server. But where do you start? How do you organize the pieces? How do you break down your project? Let's look at three main areas: catalogs, flex projects, and applications. It all starts with catalogs. The first thing I always do is to plan and create my catalogs. A catalog is the highest level for breaking down and organizing your project development. They allow for both logical and functional organization. For example, you could put all your services into a services catalog, all your style sheets into another catalog, all your tiles related to some area like administrators into one catalog, and all the tiles related to users in yet another. It's up to you, but you get the idea. In Flash Builder, a catalog's project folder is already created for you. I highly recommend that you place all your catalogs here instead of spread out and buried within various other projects that you'll be creating. They work the same wherever they are, but it's best to keep them in one easy to remember and find location. The tooling knows where they are and updates the content for you as new projects and collateral are created and built. To create a new catalog, we simply create a new one from here. New Composite Application Catalog. Give it some name and click Finish, and it appears right there. The next major area we want to look at are flex projects themselves. It's very inefficient to have a project for every tile or every piece of code. For any given Experience Services project, you can put as many tiles in it as you like. For example, this one has 4 tiles. It's up to you, but you do need to consolidate. A skinning or style sheet project can generally stand on its own, like this one. They generally have a CSS, some assets, and the class libraries. You can consolidate them also if you get too many. For each Composite Application framework service, you usually need about 3 projects: an interface library project, an implementation library project, and a consuming tile project, even if it's just a unit test tile. I usually group them by names. Here's a set here, another set here, and yet another set here. And you don't have to put all your interfaces into separate projects. Here's an example where a particular interface library has 4 interfaces. If you have more than 3 or 4 services, I would consider consolidating some of my interface and implementation libraries. The last area we want to look at are the applications themselves. Any application can reference any number of catalogs and all the content of those catalogs. We can get into access control rights in another video. They are how you organize the overall layout and content as viewed by the end user. They can also be used to predefine additional layouts and content as well as default layouts. In Flash Builder, I highly recommend that you create a project called Applications and create all your AXML files in that folder. Just as with catalogs, they work the same no matter where they are, but it works better to keep them in one place.